An unknown supernatural force is terrorizing a family. But can the psychics stop it once they uncover the family's darkest secret? You are watching Psychic Investigations, a project of true and gripping stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate high-profile criminal cases and extraordinary mystical phenomena. Ukraine, a small village in the countryside. Suddenly, strange and mystical events began happening in the home of 48-year-old Svitlana Zanochkina.
I hear voices and doors open and close on their own. At night, something disturbs me. I can't see what it is, but it pulls the blanket off me.
Svitlana lives with a large family, her daughter Marina and her husband, her son Serhiy with his family, and 5 grandchildren. All of them say they witness inexplicable things almost every day.
My grandson said when he went to get hay, he heard someone calling, "Tolik, Tolik."
Yes. I got here and heard the quiet voice repeating, "Tolik!"
Got scared. He's even afraid to go to the bathroom at home. That's how strong his fear is.
The family says they not only hear voices and noises, but also see strange shadows and figures.
The dog started barking, so I looked out the window and saw a man in black. He was wearing a hood. Like this. No face at all.
I felt a cold stare from over there. I turned around, and there was a silhouette. I didn't panic and said, "I'll start reading prayers." But time passed, and I looked out that window, and there it was again. Green eyes and a twisted, disfigured face.
What's happening in this household? To find out, Svitlana sent a photo of her home to the psychics.
I saw the way Zhana Shulikova works. I like her approach, so I'd like her to come.
Looking at this photo, I see a vivid image of a cemetery. I see a grave. There's a girl standing over the grave. She's terrified of the person buried there. She's afraid they'll rise the grave. Then I see stakes being driven into the grave.
Medium Dilaram Saparova joins Jana in the investigation.
I see a little boy. There's a man and a woman yelling at him, and then they start beating him. And then I see the boy has hanged himself. How awful.
When the psychics arrive, Svitlana is already waiting for them.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Strange things are happening in our home. We believe it's some kind of mystical force that's making life here unbearable. I feel cold breathing in the house.
Like frost coming off of it.
Yes. I'm not the only one. My daughter-in-law feels it too.
I was sitting on the couch, speaking to Mom, when suddenly, something breathed right in my face. It was cold, like from outside, but the windows weren't open, and the fan wasn't running.
To understand what was going on, we decided to scan the energy of the house, the yard, and its owners.
Are you feeling unwell?
Yes.
Easy. Easy now. She's about to faint.
I couldn't breathe. Everything went dark. I'd had this before, but never this strong.
15 minutes later, Svitlana gradually recovered, and the psychics continued the investigation.
What room is this?
The kitchen.
Do you have a basin?
Yes.
The spirits are asking me for water, so I can see through the water. I'm seeing a vision of a boy.
Not a boy, an adult man dead.
Yes, dead.
The psychic's visions differ. Dilaram previously saw a boy in a photo of the house. Who is he? And what man is Jana talking about?
I saw a disturbing, horrifying vision. In it, The man was dismembered, piece by piece, and I felt he was directly connected to what's happening in Svitlana's home.
My husband was hit by a train.
It turned out 6 years ago, Svitlana's husband, Serhiy, was struck by a train. He was supposedly crouched on the tracks in a poorly lit area. The driver spotted him too late to brake.
The man had left for work. He was a mechanic at the local brick factory, but for some reason, he ended up on the tracks. No one understands how or why it happened.
I see him in my dreams. He once told me he'd been murdered.
What really happened to Svitlana's husband? Could his death be connected to the paranormal activity in their home? The site of the tragedy is just 2 kilometers away, at a railroad crossing. The psychics head there immediately.
He's sitting here. He can't hear anything.
He saw and heard nothing.
The forensics found no alcohol or other toxins in Serhiy Zanochkina's body.
And the train is approaching.
And in that final moment, he's blinded by the train's headlight.
I hear the impact.
As a train approaches, you would not just hear the noise, but also feel a powerful vibration. It would usually trigger an instinct to move away from the source. So Serhiy, sitting on the tracks, was likely in some unnatural state. Otherwise, he would have instinctively tried to escape.
Could the source of the poltergeist activity in the Zanochkin home be Svitlana's deceased husband? But what message is he trying to send by frightening the entire family?
Some unseen force pushed this man toward the train. He didn't do it himself. And I started to think it was the same force that was disturbing Svitlana, preventing her from living in peace. But you weren't living with your husband.
No, or he left.
Svitlana admitted that 6 months before his death, they'd had a falling out. She says he got tired of her and found another woman. On the last day of his life, he came to reconcile, but was acting strangely.
He came to our daughter's birthday. We were sitting at the table. He said, "Make a wish." I wished for us to make peace and live happily. He said, "I want to make peace too for the sake of our grandkids, the children, for a calm life." Then he just stared out the window. It gave me chills.
Like a zombie.
He was not himself. I still don't know what was wrong with him.
Serhiy's death was definitely tied to otherworldly forces. I saw an eerie, terrifying doll. It looked like a voodoo doll, and it was in a strange apartment. A woman had made it.
That's my parents' apartment.
Astonishingly, about 12 years ago, Svitlana and her husband lived with her parents in a town 4 kilometers away. There, she once found a doll made of wire and thread.
We found it inside the couch. It was tightly wrapped in red thread and had no head.
Did someone wish Svitlana harm and plant the strange doll so it eventually led to her husband's death? But who would do such a thing, and why?
I decided to perform a ritual. There's something grotesque there. It's a voodoo doll. Someone made it, and now people are dying. It killed your father.
Both my parents died.
Svitlana says her mother was a healthy woman, but when she was 60, she suddenly developed multiple illnesses.
It happened so quickly. Her leg swelled badly, and then her organs began to fail. Her heart was very enlarged, but the doctors couldn't explain the cause.
3 years after her mother's death, Svitlana's father also passed away. The cause was a trophic ulcer resulting from varicose vein complications. But what does this all mean? Could someone truly be using dark magic to wipe out Svitlana's entire family?
We need to go to the apartment where you found the doll. The curse was aimed at your mother because of the man she married. I saw an old woman. It was Svitlana's grandmother, her father's mother. She hated her daughter-in-law, and she created the doll to eliminate her.
Svitlana confirmed that relations between her mother and grandmother were bad.
My grandmother, Maria, never liked my mom. She always criticized her whole life.
Svitlana says her grandmother had a strange friend named Lida, who was rumored to practice magic.
The curse was only directed at your mother. It had nothing to do with the man who died on the railway tracks. That is, your husband. The woman got what she wanted. Svitlana's mother died. But her father passed away from grief after losing his wife. But what kind of force pushed Svitlana's husband onto the tracks? And what force is now wreaking havoc in her home?
You have a daughter, right?
Yes,
Where is she?
in the village.
Your daughter is hiding something from you.
She's never hidden anything from me.
I see it clearly. She's definitely hiding something.
The psychics returned to the Zanochkina family home, where the investigation began.
Hello.
Hello!
What's your name?
Marina.
Did you kill him?
It's unbelievable. Is Serhi's daughter involved in his death?
Did you kill him?
She didn't, Dilaram. She killed him in her thoughts.
You constantly wished he would die. You didn't want him to live. You harbored a deep resentment.
Yes, I had those thoughts.
But why would a daughter wish death upon her own father?
I'm seeing the images. She was crying, completely beaten.
Then Marina revealed something truly horrifying. Since she was little, her father brutally punished her for any mistake. And then, one night, something happened that she can never forget.
I was 13. At 2 in the morning, he came and beat me nearly to death. He looked into my underwear. He looked into my bra. Every night, he would do those things to me. What kind of feelings do you think I had for my own father?
It turns out Serhi was an alcoholic, and once he got drunk, he became a violent monster.
He would beat my head and stomach, and then say, "God forbid you tell your mother, or I'll kill you."
Did you know this?
I did. I complained, but nothing happened. The police couldn't help.
Couldn't you just kick him out?
We did kick him out.
He threatened us with a knife. What he did to us was terrifying.
And you, as her mother, couldn't do anything?
He said he'd kill her and send the kids away somewhere.
What do you mean, kill her?
He said, "I'll kill her, and the kids will go live with their grandmother."
It's hard to even imagine what Marina endured. But the worst part is that even after her father's death, she still fears him. Could it be that he's the force tormenting the family from beyond the grave?
I sense him often, especially near my brother. I know his smell, and I constantly sense the smell.
When I worked with the letter, I saw a grave. And then I heard a terrible scream. It felt like something was being driven into a heart.
Yes, I drove aspen stakes so he couldn't rise from the dead.
Into the grave?
After he was buried, I placed them in the shape of a cross.
You mean you were afraid he'd get out of the grave and come back?
I could still hear him.
Even after her father's death, Marina was so haunted by fear she couldn't live in peace.
That fear never leaves me.
To rid herself of it, Marina didn't go to a therapist, but to a local sorcerer, who gave her specific instructions.
He said, "Take aspen stakes and drive them into his heart." So we went. I made a cross. And when I tried to strike the heart, the ground beneath me shook. I trembled all over from fear. And then I heard a groan.
Could what's happening in Svitlana's house truly be connected to her late husband? And what force drove him to sit on the tracks and wait for death?
I clearly felt the death of a little boy. He was thin, frail, and small. He's crying. Why are you crying?
A little boy?
His age is
He's little, Dilaram.
under 13.
He drove my brother to the grave.
It turned out Serhi was Svitlana's second husband. From her first marriage, she had a son named Vitaly. When she remarried, his stepfather despised him.
He abused him badly. He beat him so hard his backside turned black and blue. And one day, he couldn't take it anymore.
The tragedy happened 20 years ago. The Zanochkin family had traveled to visit their relatives in another region. There, in a barn, they found 13-year-old Vitaly hanged.
Something pulled me toward the barn. I opened the door, and there he was, hanging. I tried to take him out of the noose, but I couldn't.
Honestly, I didn't want to live anymore. But one thing saved me. I got pregnant with my son right after we buried Vitaly.
Marina says the man tormented her brother so cruelly, the boy began to dream of death.
He talked about death ever since preschool. At his funeral, even the teachers said so.
How could a child want to live when he's being torn to pieces?
I know. I lived through it. And I stayed silent.
Why?
I was afraid.
Afraid of whom?
Him. Because he would punch me and kick me.
Who were you afraid of?
Him!
She's just a child, like the boy who hanged himself. What the hell are you screaming at her for?
I've cried all my life. Please help us find some way to let this go.
The boy, you must ask him for forgiveness.
You're the woman who drove your son to the grave with your own hands. How can she live with it? You can never atone for such a sin. And then to become pregnant by the very man who did this? 2 months after Vitaly's death?
It took a long time to calm Dilaram Saparova. Half an hour passed before she could resume the investigation.
I'm continuing this because there are other children here.
But how does Vitaly's suicide relate to the paranormal events in Svitlana's home and her husband's death?
The boy was betrayed. He saw something. He told his mother something and asked her, "Mom, don't tell Dad."
On the last day of his life, the boy accidentally saw his stepfather with another woman. He told his mother immediately, but instead of leaving the man, Svitlana told her husband what her son had seen.
I had his consent to do it. I said, let's tell him. And if he starts hitting you, we'll leave and go live with Grandma.
He was terrified to be alone with that man. He was afraid he'd be killed.
She drove her own son to the grave with her own hands. Do you understand you killed your son?
What can I say? No one else has lived in my shoes.
How do you even go on living after this?
If it was my family and someone abused my child, I would never ask that man to come back.
I did it for my younger son. I had another boy, do you understand this? I made that wish that our family could stay together. We had children and grandchildren. He promised he'd change. I always hoped things might be different.
After his death, Vitaly became furious and restless. He drove his stepfather mad, and now he's behind the poltergeist terrorizing this house. Because you can't abuse a child.
It's terrifying. I remember all of it.
She's lying. She doesn't understand a damn thing. Not a single tear on her face.
He just wants to be loved. That's why he keeps appearing.
I couldn't even begin to imagine that my own brother could be the one who's angry.
You must ask the boy for forgiveness.
Tell me how. What do we do?
When you go to the cemetery, when you go to church, when you celebrate something at home, always do it with him.
Vitaly, my sweet boy, I'll do what's right. I'll never forget you. We're grateful for everything.
I finally feel some relief. The psychics helped me understand why all of this happened.
A cursed doll and a sinister entity with eyes of different colors. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose a woman who called a child to a cemetery to conduct a bloody ritual. You are watching Psychic Investigations. Lilia Tretiak from Ukraine asked the psychics for help. She and her husband, Serhiy, raise a daughter, Sasha, and a son, Stepan. Lilia fears for their lives, as her family members have been dying one by one. First was her grandma, and then her mother and father, both at the age of only 42. The deaths occurred within a year. The woman thinks the reason for that is the cursed doll that was once hidden in the foundation of her parents' house.
For some reason, my grandma didn't pay the people who did the construction. People say that the builders put the cursed doll in the foundation to punish her for not paying them.
Several years after the case, Lilia's grandmother died under mysterious circumstances. She froze to death on the outskirts of the village. After that, Lilia's parents moved into the house. Soon afterward, her mother chalked on SO. The official reason is the chimney wasn't functioning properly.
My brother and I arrived and saw Mom lying dead. I felt so sorry for her.
And then, in the same house, Lilia's father was beaten to death by a local man who came to borrow money from him.
He died from pain shock.
After her father's funeral, Lilia stayed in the family house for the night, and something utterly strange happened there.
Something woke me up in the middle of the night.
Lilia heard weird squeaking. When she turned out the night light, she saw a real nightmare in the mirror.
There was a snake in the mirror.
And then a chest appeared in it, and inside it held 2 severed human heads.
My and my brother's heads, blindfolded with black strips of cloth.
When Lilia came back home the following day, she felt somebody standing by her bed at night.
I had a feeling of being touched by somebody, but there was nobody next to me.
And the next moment, Lilia heard terrifying words.
A male voice said, "I am here. You just can't see me. I'll show you where I am."
Then a toy car rode out of her children's room by itself, circled the room, and hit a leg of the table.
I heard the car bang on the table leg, but when I checked on my children, they were sleeping.
The young mother soon realized that it was a warning. Next day, Lilia and her husband and children were going to the town by car. Suddenly, a road sign that hung above the road fell on the car. It was torn off by the strong wind.
The road sign fell on the hood and split it open. We got terrified.
And a few days later, Lilia had a bad nightmare.
In the dream, I was walking around a cemetery. There was a grave there, but I couldn't get whose it was.
Lilia says that in that dream, she realized the grave was fresh, and then she saw all her relatives crying around it. Suddenly, she heard a child scream through the dream.
"Mommy, mommy, mommy, help!"
When Lilia opened her eyes, she saw her son standing next to her bed with blood on his face. It turned out the boy had had a nightmare, too. He woke up and ran to his mother, but running, he hit his forehead on the door frame.
He hurt an eyebrow. The wound was nasty, so he was screaming and crying loudly.
Little Stepan said he'd seen an awful man with his eyes of different colors in his dream, and even after he woke up, he saw the terrible stranger in reality.
I saw those large eyes. One was blue and the other was black.
Soon, the woman saw the strange man from the netherworld in her bedroom. He was whispering ominous words to Lilia. "I am going to kill you and all of your family." Lilia didn't know where to run or whom to ask help from, but her late mother told her what to do.
I saw Mom in my dreams twice. She said, "Go to psychics. Don't hesitate and do it, or you'll die soon."
Our psychics, Rubina Tsibulska and Yaroslava Fedorova, answered Lilia's call for help.
I'm not sure if it's because of the doll. I paid attention to the photo of the father.
Lilia's father?
Yes, and I had a vision of a young man from the other world standing next to the father. His eyes are different in color, and he repeats, "Kill her."
Do you mean some entity is making Lilia's father destroy his own family?
You see, in the vision, Lilia's father was still alive.
Who then did the entity order him to kill?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to thank you for coming. Help me, please. I first thought it was because of the doll hidden in the old house, but the house is uninhabited now.
I see something quite different now. 2 women. One of them is crying and shouting to the other one. If she's gone, he will come back to me.
It looks like some kind of love triangle.
Let's go and check the house in which the doll is. We've got to work there. The pendulum swinging.
The doll is here. Do you feel it?
The thread turned like this, like somebody's controlling it.
The doll wasn't made to cause death. Its purpose is to destroy the house.
I'm having another vision. The house is on fire.
Yes.
Lilia says a short circuit once happened in the house owing to a sudden power spike. The house burned to ashes. After that, it had to be rebuilt from scratch.
The doll, as the destruction charm left in the house's foundation by the builders, did its job. That was the manifestation of the curse.
Your grandma, mom, and dad's deaths have nothing to do with the doll.
Then what's happening to me?
Quiet.
It can't be. The curtain simply tore off and fell. But Lilia says there can't be anyone in the house. She's the only person to have the key.
I'm shocked.
Wait a minute. This is the same young man from the other world. All these deaths of your grandma, dad, and mom, as well as the danger to you, are coming from this young man from the netherworld.
Why is he haunting this family?
Open the house. I want to talk to him.
The curtain is torn off completely.
It's not a spirit. It's an entity. And it's very powerful.
I feel that this entity is provoking the deadly situations in which your family members find themselves. My God, it's so horrific. I see your father's body here. He was murdered right in this place.
Yes, right here.
The attacker was out of his mind, and his gaze was hazy. He punched and kicked your father with an inhuman force. It's like something took possession of him.
The man who murdered my father wasn't tall. He was much shorter than Dad. The court didn't believe at first that he could possibly do it because Dad was much stronger than him.
But suddenly, I heard eerie, really terrifying laughter from the next room. The entity is watching us from there.
This is where the mirror I told you about is.
The same one in which you saw the severed heads?
Yes.
When I tuned into the mirror, I saw Lilia's father in it. His face was contorted, and he was beating somebody and kicking them so hard, like he was going to kill them.
I think it's a woman. Who is she?
Mom.
Lilia still remembers her and her brother always defend their mother from their father's terrible beatings all the time.
But your father wasn't always like that. I feel that initially he was a model family man.
Yes. Dad was always good to me and Mom. He loved her madly.
But I feel that with time, your father started feeling jealous of your mother. It began after he started going somewhere far away for a long time.
Yes, it really was so. He went to work abroad.
According to Lilia, every time her father returned from his trips, he began maniacally suspecting her mother of unfaithfulness, despite even the fact that there were absolutely no reasons for that.
Mom was home with us all the time. She simply had no time to go somewhere.
But somebody kept assuring your dad of the opposite. Like they were provoking him.
It was the young man with different eyes. He had been manipulating Lilia's father.
The entity in the appearance of the young man pushed the father to kill the mother, and I have a feeling he almost did it.
Yes. He was kicking her and we pulled him off her, but he wanted more, and he saw that Mom fell and couldn't get up, and she couldn't stand up the following day.
The man called an ambulance and told the doctors and everyone else in the family that his wife had fallen from a ladder. The woman was bedridden and couldn't take care of herself, let alone the little children.
Your father was supposed to look after you and your mother, but he seemed to not care at all.
Yes.
The man gave up work and started drinking heavily and spending nights out of home.
We cooked our own food and milked the cows.
This is so terrible. You stayed without the mother.
And without the father, though they were both alive.
While I'm here, I feel dizzy. Can we go outside?
A woman. Do you see her? She's a mother, and she's furious at somebody because of her child.
Wait. My child, you hurt my child. Because of you, my son is not like everyone else. The woman is shouting out these words to you.
That's my brother's wife.
Your brother's wife?
Yes, she has a son, but he has a problem with his lip.
As it turned out, Lilia's nephew was born with a cleft lip.
But why does his mother claim it's your fault?
It's your fault. You cursed him, I said. I never did anything bad to anybody and don't want to. I never cursed him.
But what made her think so?
I said I was worried about their baby being healthy when he was born, and they misunderstood me, but it's not my fault.
You're not telling us something else.
There's a conflict.
It's somehow connected with your husband. You were jealous because you thought he was attracted to her, weren't you?
Yes, for some time. We lived in a rented apartment, and she was a student back then and stayed with us.
Where was your brother?
He was in the army and served in Donbass.
It turned out the brother's wife is an orphan and had no accommodation of her own. So, for the 2 years, while Lilia's brother was in the army, she offered his wife to stay with her family.
Why the jealousy then?
I noticed that my husband started acting strange when she was around.
Lilia claims that at some moment, she noticed that her brother's wife started dressing up a lot, and her husband complimented her.
And you suspected that they had an affair.
Yes, I thought so, and I told her to move out so we would not quarrel anymore.
It seems like that woman has enough reasons to hate you. Could she have possibly put a spell on you?
We must see her.
It turned out that the woman's name is Svitlana. She and her husband live in the next village.
Svitlana, we would like to talk to you.
We don't speak to each other at all.
Could you please explain the thing I see? You're walking. It's cold, but you're pregnant, and you feel a great grudge.
I was in a car with Lilia and her husband, Serhiy, and we kept arguing. I couldn't listen to it all anymore.
Svitlana says that Lilia couldn't calm down because of her suspicions of the affair her husband and Svitlana presumably had, even in spite of the fact that Svitlana and her husband had been living separately for a long time.
Lilia, I feel that you told pregnant Svitlana get out of the car and walk away.
I was really mad. She simply happened to be there at that moment, so I told her to get out and walk.
Svitlana says that she was left in the middle of a field, and so, pregnant, she had to walk several kilometers home through snow.
Why did you quarrel?
Because of the jealousy.
I never had anything with Serhiy.
I asked the cards if Svitlana really had an affair with your husband, and they told me it never happened. And the most important thing is that neither of you has ever done any magic or other harm to the other. It never happened either.
There only was the quarrel, and it was ungrounded. It's time for you to reconcile.
Forgive me for treating you like that. I'm happy we've clarified it. The burden that's been there for 5 years is finally off.
I'm happy the conflict is over.
An otherworldly entity is haunting you and your brother.
My mirror is showing me that he tried to commit suicide.
Yes, more than once.
Svitlana says that her husband has tried to kill himself a few times in the middle of the night, and that then he looked entranced.
The same otherworldly entity is controlling him. But who summoned it? Suddenly, I had an idea. What if we ask the spirit of Lilia's mother for help? All in all, it was she who told her daughter to ask us for help when she visited her in her dream. What was your mother's name?
Oksana.
Oksana, come and help your daughter. Your mom is here. She's embracing you.
Yes, I feel her from behind. It's like somebody's holding me like this.
You can talk to her.
Mom. Mom, I love you so much.
She says she's always with you.
Mom, please help me. Help me find the way out of this, please.
She tells you to go to the cemetery where your relatives are buried.
The clairvoyants arrive at the cemetery. However, Yaroslava Fedorova abruptly stops.
I feel blood has been spilled here.
Human blood?
No. It was animal blood, though it was supposed to be a child's blood. It was done to summon the entity first, and then bind it.
Bind it to Lilia's family.
Yes, a blood ritual.
I feel that it was done out of powerful love. And now my mirror is showing me two women. One of them is crying and shouting to the other, "If she's gone, he'll return to me." A woman was afraid of losing a man who was much younger than her. Who could it be? My God, it's your father.
Wait, did your father have a mistress who was much older than he was?
Who was this woman? Where do we find her?
The woman is gone, and the only way to talk to her is to summon her spirit. Let me do it.
It's unbelievable. The gate next to the clairvoyants has opened itself. What is that supposed to mean?
My heart, it sank.
She's here. That woman's here. She's 50. Her eyes are bright and look very much like yours.
Grandma.
Why did she ask you who you loved more, Mom or Dad?
She simply didn't want Mom and Dad to live together. Grandma Halia didn't like Mom because Mom was an orphan. They quarreled often, so whenever we went to visit Grandma, we went there without Mom.
And then it dawned on me. Lilia's grandmother summoned the entity to rid herself of her daughter-in-law. She held the belief that her daughter-in-law had taken her beloved son from her.
This is what she's saying. Because of her, this orphan, he works too hard and even goes abroad to work more. I don't see him for months.
Yes.
Your grandmother loved your father very much.
He was the youngest and she paid him the most attention. It was so obvious.
The mother was sure that if she got rid of her daughter-in-law, she would do a favor for her son. She thought that his young wife had spoiled his life.
Yaroslava, you mentioned a child's blood that was supposed to be spilled here. Lilia, it was supposed to be your blood. I feel that your grandmother invited you to participate in the ritual.
Well, she offered me. She said, "Come with me to the cemetery. I need to get rid of your mother." She needed to find a grave with the name Oksana written on it and do something on it. And she said she needed help from one of the children, Mom's blood relatives. So I went to tell Dad.
When Lilia's father found out about that, he immediately went to his mother's and started a scandal. After that, he didn't speak to her for almost 3 months.
But Lilia's grandmother eventually carried out the ritual, with animal blood though.
A woman helped her. The woman practiced magic.
It was her friend Nina. She read fortune using cards and knew some things.
Your grandmother and her friend summoned the entity at the cemetery, paid it a ransom, and thought they had a deal with it.
But it's impossible to have a deal with dark forces. They always play by their own rules.
The entity was taking Lilia's family members one by one. And it started its hunt with those who carried out the ritual, Lilia's grandmother and her friend. The fortune teller that helped your grandmother died too.
She froze to death. Just like Grandma, on the road.
Only then did the entity fulfill its order and kill the daughter-in-law. But how? Through the son, whose life the mother was so concerned about.
Your grandmother is crying. She wishes it had been different. She believed that your father deserved somebody better.
I'm speechless. I want this otherworldly entity to leave me and my family alone.
We need to detach the entity from you and your family, and then send it to the netherworld. He's behind you. I see him.
Go away. Leave me alone.
Quiet, quiet. It was a sign. He's gone now. We must close the portal. Now, you and your family are safe.
Thank you so much.
We are deeply grateful for your time.
Take care of yourselves.
What a terrible nightmare it is. The mother's maniacal love for her son resulted in a series of deaths in the family. A ghost of a woman will come from the other world to tell the truth about her murder. Don't miss out. The psychics will unveil a terrible family secret. This incredible story began on a train while our experts, Zhana Shulakova and Yaroslava Fedorova, were coming back from another investigation. At one of the stops, Zhana became entranced and went out of the station.
A spirit called me. His name is Yuri. He said I had to stop deaths.
The next week, Zhana Shulakova called our office because the spirit she'd seen started haunting her.
He wants me to stop a murderer. A family is dying because of a woman. Her name is Inna. He says, I'll show you where to find her.
2 days later, our crew, together with Zhana Shulakova and Yaroslava Fedorova, is back at the same station.
Yuri is here. He's showing me some buildings of a light color. And next to them, there is something like a river.
I had a vision. I saw a woman. She was all covered in blood. She was stabbed. She only told me one phrase: "Find Eden." Yuri's spirit was standing next to the entrance door, pointing upstairs. This way.
The spirit is pointing at this apartment. Hello.
Hello. When I answered the door and saw Zhana and Yaroslava, I was genuinely shocked.
We are experts from psychic investigations.
My name's Ina.
Ina is 43. She has a daughter and a son. She owns a cafe.
A man's spirit has brought us here.
He's fair-haired and not tall.
His name's Yuri.
He was my husband's friend. He died.
It turned out that 2 years ago, Yuri died of heart failure.
The man from the other world was worried that Ina's family was in danger, and so he brought us to her home so we could help. The cards are showing me something fall on your husband's head. It happened recently.
Yes?
Inna says that, not so long ago, a piece of slate fell on her husband's head from the neighboring building while he was coming back from work.
He had a craniocerebral injury.
After that, Ina herself witnessed her 20-year-old daughter being hit by a car while they were crossing the road on the green light.
The driver was drunk. She had a concussion and several fractures in her skull.
Yuri's spirit says your son almost died recently.
We had to save him. My husband caught him by the hand.
While Ina's son was standing on the balcony of their apartment, something shoved his shoulder, and he almost fell from the 8th floor. At the last moment, her husband, who was also there, caught their son.
And before that, you had a dream in which your son almost died, didn't you?
Yes.
The woman saw an otherworldly entity in her dream. According to my feelings, it doesn't want to take Ina's son alone, but her whole family. And it is showing her this, in her dreams, intentionally.
A small and narrow river, and first I saw my husband, son, and daughter on the same bank as me, and then they started crossing the river, but I saw I couldn't cross.
In all such dreams, Ina always saw a terrible black figure around her family.
The silhouette like a shadow. I beg you for help. I fear something irrevocable can happen.
The clairvoyants go down to the van to take their ritual items.
I had a very strange vision. A woman came into a dark little room and hid something small, emanating strong necrotic energy, in the wardrobe. And then, in the mirror next to her, another reflection appeared. It had no face.
Let me work in the apartment. What if we find a charm in it? There is an otherworldly entity here. You feel it.
I hear footsteps and breathing and see shadows all the time, but I can't see anybody.
The walls are clean. No traces of a charm.
The cards are saying that this entity has been bound to you through a thing, which is not here at the moment. What could it be?
I don't know.
I see a woman who has been snatched out of the other world, suddenly.
It's my niece. She experienced clinical death. She spent some time in the intensive care unit, but she was eventually saved.
What's her name?
Ilona.
She almost died due to the same entity that's bound to you.
Hello.
Hello? I see you standing. Then you're dizzy, and that's it. You remember nothing.
I came to the kitchen to have coffee in the morning. Fortunately, my husband was home. He gave me artificial respiration and called an ambulance quickly. They barely started my heart. They said another 10 or 15 seconds and I would be dead.
If the medics hadn't started Ilona's heart, her 2 children would have been orphans.
The spirits over there.
The window of the shed in Ilona's yard suddenly cracked.
I see a woman, her hair is cut short and it's curly. She's your bloodline.
It's my sister, Ilona's mother.
Yes.
She's covered in blood.
Was she murdered?
Yes.
She's here to help you.
She says, "Tell them the truth about my murderer, and I'll show who's avenging my sister."
What was her name?
Svitlana.
The woman from my vision was Svitlana. She was all bloodied. She was stabbed.
37 knife wounds.
The awful tragedy occurred in 2002. Svitlana was found stabbed to death at the grocery store where she worked. It was in a village that is an hour's drive from here. The woman lived there with her husband and 2 daughters. She was 38.
I still miss her, and I want to embrace her so much.
The woman's daughters, 11-year-old Zoriana and Ilona, who had just turned 15, stayed orphans.
It was really terrible.
She's telling me he's not guilty.
There's a man. He was accused, and he was punished.
Hori. He's from the neighboring village.
The police found Hrihori, a 30-year-old resident of the neighboring village, guilty of the woman's murder.
A slip knot on his neck.
He was found hung in a grove.
The man killed himself the same night, several hours after Svitlana's death. He was convicted of her murder afterward.
They said he was addicted to drugs,
Like an addict needed money.
but her gold jewelry was intact. It wasn't a robbery.
Neither was the money stolen from the cash register. The women think Grigori couldn't possibly have any other motive apart from the robbery, as he didn't even know the victim.
Do you think somebody else killed her?
We thought the father did it.
My father.
That is her husband.
Yes,
What's his name?
Stanislav.
What happened?
You were supposed to have a baby from your father.
What?
He raped her.
A shocking revelation. Did the father rape his own daughter?
It's true.
Ilona says she came home from school. Her sister wasn't there. Her father approached her, and then her recollection is cloudy.
It's very hard for me to recall it all, and
He told her, "Why do you need somebody to be your first man? It would be better if I am the first. I'll do it delicately, and it won't hurt."
it happened after Mom died.
What a bastard you have to be to rape your own daughter who has just lost her mother and has nobody to protect her.
And before that, did he harass you?
Yes.
Did you tell your mom?
He said, if you say something, I'll kill you. I was 15. What could I do?
And what about the baby?
An abortion. Did I have any other choice? They did it without anesthesia or anything. They simply scraped me from the inside, and that was it.
Ilona says she ran out of tears when she was 15. The girl went through an awful humiliation, but she couldn't even tell anybody about it, neither her friends nor teachers, because she thought it was a great shame.
I phoned Ina and said, please take me away from here. I can't stay in this place.
We arrived here by car and took Ilona to the town.
Ina convinced her niece to report the rape to the police, but Ilona's father was not punished.
They closed his case due to a lack of evidence.
Had they done it immediately and taken all the necessary samples, then it would have given results. But they simply told me it was too late. Besides, he hired a good lawyer.
According to Ilona's family, a woman who eventually became his second wife helped the man to find the lawyer.
It was less than 40 days after Svitlana's death when he brought the new woman into the house. What else can I add here?
Ina did everything to return her niece to a normal life. She nurtured her like her own child, and she made sure the girl's father wouldn't even approach her.
How come such a monster wasn't punished?
We could do nothing. His other daughter stayed with him.
Your sister?
Yes,
She's 4 years younger. She refuses to believe me. She's always claimed Dad was good.
And Stanislav isn't among the living.
He hung himself at home.
Why did he do it?
we have no idea.
It was possible this was the reason Stanislav's spirit was trying to avenge Ina's family. Yet we didn't know who had stabbed the woman. At that moment, I remembered the words that Svitlana had told me in my vision: find Eden.
Eden is the grocery store where she worked.
In the village.
The psychics go to the village in which Svitlana lived. Many things have changed at the store where Ilona's mother was murdered brutally, and it's not even called Eden anymore.
I saw Svitlana and blood on the floor at the counter. She was slashed horribly. Was she lying over there?
Yes, she was all bloody. This is unbearable.
He hits her in the head. Then he grabs a knife. The knife was somewhere here. He's in a haze and doesn't understand what he's doing.
Did her husband kill her or not?
That man wasn't her family.
Does this mean the murderer wasn't Svitlana's husband? But who could do such a terrible thing to the woman, and for what?
He came here to take the money from the register.
but something scared him.
He heard a voice that said, "Mom?"
A child found Svitlana. It was a girl.
My sister.
Yes, Zoriana.
Zoriana lives nearby with her husband and 2 children. When she heard from her aunt that the psychics are investigating her mother's murder, she immediately came.
How old were you?
11. I called Mom, but nobody answered. And so, the girls and I went behind the counter and saw Mom there.
Do you know if the murderer is alive?
The man hung himself.
He's thin and young. I see drops of blood on his jacket.
And so it was Shihori all in all.
He was on drugs. And when he got sober and realized what he had done, he killed himself.
But you said it wasn't him.
Do you mean the phrase that I heard? She says, "He's not guilty."
Your deceased sister meant her husband.
Svitlana wanted her family to know the truth. It hurts her to see them suffer for so many years, thinking that her husband killed her. Stanislav only killed himself. He might have been an awful person, a son of a bitch, a rapist. He might have been a terrible father and a bad husband, but he wasn't a murderer.
Your mother says, take care of each other, and I'll always be nearby. You are a family, and you must be together.
Because of their father, they didn't talk at all.
I always thought that that she slandered my father's name. All these years. But what I learned today...
I think everything is going to be all right. Can you ask my sister how she's doing up there?
She says she misses your communication.
Not so long before it happened, we'd started speaking rarely. Can you ask her to forgive me? I love her. And I miss her.
And then Svitlana's spirit showed me the entity that was bound to Ina, killing her relatives. But it had no face. It changed constantly. You see this entity in different shapes.
Yes. Its head wasn't human, it had horns. Then there was a spider and a large toad. I wasn't sleeping, I rubbed my eyes, but then it disappeared.
It's definitely an otherworldly entity that's avenging on her, as only it can shift its shape.
You can only bind such an entity to somebody.
Through some magic.
A woman did it.
Tell me, have you ever been to see a fortune teller or somebody like that?
No, never.
And then I heard the voice of Svitlana's spirit again. Go where you began the search.
She wants us to go to the station.
The clairvoyants and Ina are on their way to the station, but half a kilometer away from it, something has fallen on the van.
A branch from a tree, and it was strange, as it wasn't windy that evening.
Your sister's spirit is giving us a sign.
We must resume the search, using the pendulum.
The pendulum is taking the clairvoyant through courtyards until it stops in front of a residential building.
The entity was summoned in this building.
I lived here with my first husband and his mother.
Ina is married for the second time. She and her first husband were married for 13 years and had 2 children. After they divorced, Ina moved out, but her ex-mother-in-law still lives here.
The woman is young. She's holding a book and a wisp of hair. Yes, it's hair and wax. Looks like a voodoo doll. I see her.
Have you ever made a wax doll?
I had to bind the candles like this.
Whose hair was it?
my ex-husband's.
Were you trying to put a love spell on him? Disappointment in love?
Yes. He cheated on me all the time. I simply wanted to save our family. I used to have a book, and in it, I read that I had to make a wax doll with his hair. I had to say something, then wrap it in his shirt and hide it.
It's a bad charm. It's black magic.
Doing such things, you can accidentally summon an evil entity, and so it got bound to you.
This is unbelievable. The psychics were searching for the woman who bound the killing entity to Ina, but it turned out she did it herself.
I beg you, please help me. I was stupid and only wanted to keep my husband.
We decided to carry out a ritual to send the entity back to the place from where Ina had summoned it, to the world of darkness. We need to go back to you place.
The entity began ravaging all over the protection circle. Jana and I weren't the only ones to see it.
What is going on? A large speaker on the floor stares, swinging itself.
That's all.
The entity won't escape this mirror.
I am grateful to you for everything you did.
Amazingly, the woman almost lost everyone she loves when she tried to keep her cheating husband by using magic. A cursed wedding. What mystical force dragged the young fiancé into the other world? And who summoned the entity? Don't miss out. The clairvoyance will reveal the secret of a deadly love triangle. On March 8, 2019, this young man arrived at his girlfriend's house with a bouquet of 101 roses. In the presence of her mother, he got down on one knee and proposed to her.
She agreed. She said yes.
However, the wedding never took place. The day after the proposal, Tetiana, his fiancée, ended up in the intensive care unit and soon died.
It's so difficult without her.
The grief-stricken parents believe an otherworldly force took their daughter to the beyond, because nobody dies that suddenly, being only 21. The mother asks the psychics to come and unravel this mystery.
Who, why, and how? My husband and I can't find the answers alone.
According to the mother, on March 9th, her daughter was cheerful and happy. She and her fiancé were discussing their upcoming wedding at home when, all of a sudden, she pointed in front of her as if she saw someone invisible.
She looked at me like that. "Look, look," she said, pointing her finger, and then she fainted.
After that, terrible seizures began.
The ambulance rushed her to the intensive care. They first diagnosed meningitis, and then said it was meningoencephalitis. Some doctors said the former, and the others the latter.
Tetiana's condition worsened every day. The doctors couldn't provide any prognosis. They claimed it was an anomaly they couldn't explain.
Professors and specialists from Kiev arrived, and they even consulted foreign medics. But nobody could find the cause.
Desperate to save her daughter, the mother even invited priests to the hospital.
We brought in 5 priests. They said the doctors could do nothing, as the reason she was there was not medical.
Until the very end, Tetiana's parents and fiancé believed that their beloved girl would wake up.
We hoped she'd open her eyes, and everything would be fine.
But the miracle didn't happen. Tetiana never emerged from her coma. 2 weeks later, on April 3rd, her heart stopped beating. She was 21.
She died in our arms. We never left her side. Her heart simply stopped.
The mother dressed her daughter in a wedding gown, but not for the wedding, but for the funeral. And her fiancé kissed her, but she was lying in the coffin, lifeless. But what's most horrifying is that just 4 years before that, Tetiana's mother buried her elder son, Serhiy, he had a wife and a little daughter left.
His blood pressure increased rapidly. He collapsed next to his car, and then seizures started. Then he slipped into a coma, and that was it.
He suffered a stroke at only 26 years old, and like his sister, he experienced strong seizures and slipped into a coma before passing away. The woman lost her both children, barely in their 20s, and she describes it as living through true hell. Now, she can only talk to them at the cemetery.
My precious son, my dear children. Now you are both gone. Our darling children. Both are gone.
The mother suspects that her son took her daughter away, claiming that before the tragedy, on the night of March 8th, Tatiana saw her deceased brother in a dream. She woke up in tears.
I asked her, "What's the matter?" And she said, "Mom, I had a dream of Serhiy. He said he wanted 30 white roses." I said, "Well, he would be 30 on May 3rd. Maybe that's why he asked for the 30 white roses."
But in her dream, Tatiana told her brother, "On the third day, there will be 21 roses of different colors." At that time, no one could guess what it meant.
And she passed away on April 3rd, exactly a month before his birthday.
On Tatiana's grave, Mikhailo put a bouquet of 21 roses of different colors that represented her age. The mother doesn't understand why Serhiy would take away his sister or why such tragedy befell their family.
I would appreciate it if the psychics came and helped us understand the reason.
2 psychics from our project, Olena Kurilova and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help.
Last night, I tuned in to the photos of the deceased brother and sister. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and saw Tatiana's spirit in front of me. She said the wedding was cursed. I see 2 wax dolls of the bride and the groom. I see someone tear off the head of the groom's figure right before the wedding.
Like voodoo dolls, looks like a curse. Hello.
Hello?
God, hello. I've been looking forward to your arrival. My name is Tatiana. Please come with me.
You suspect that your son took your daughter away.
Yes.
Do you have his personal items left?
I do. I took these from the hospital. It's all I have left from him.
After Serhiy died, he didn't only visit his sister, but also you. You saw him.
I saw him at home. It sent shivers down my spine.
Tatiana says she spent 2 sleepless nights at the hospital by her son's side while he was in a coma, and on the 3rd night, she went home to rest for at least a few hours.
I was lying awake. Then I saw him come into the room. He walked around the room and then went out through the window. And then they called me and said he died.
Your son keeps coming back to this world because of his little daughter. He's worried about her. She's in danger, just like your son and daughter.
But why?
Serhiy didn't take his sister to the other world. He appeared in her dream to warn her about the danger. Your children are victims of the same force, and I sense that their deaths are connected to a woman. Your son is here. He's embracing you, Tatiana. He said, "Save my daughter," and then he vanished.
I just can't understand why or who could do such things.
Quiet.
I think I heard something.
The voice is young and clear.
My Tatiana?
She's over there. Come on. She's calling us in there.
This is Tetiana's room.
Tetiana, come to us. She's here.
My Tetiana? No one touched it. She stood in the middle of the room, but the curtain swayed and the candle flickered immediately.
She sang softly,
Tetiana, my baby.
You talked to me, but I couldn't respond. You said everything would be fine.
I told her, everything will be fine, Tetiana.
Your daughter senses that her fiancé is nearby. She says, call Mikhailo.
Mikhailo arrived to find out from the psychics who killed his fiancée.
She says, you made me happy. She's grateful to you for your care and love.
Be brave.
I can't live without you. I can't accept that you're no longer with us.
She says she loves the ring you gave her.
The ring with a little gem, just as she wanted.
Did you put it in her coffin?
Yes.
She says give it to him. What does she mean?
It's probably for Mikhailo.
This?
Thanks.
She says, I didn't have time to give it to you.
It turns out that before her death, Tetiana prepared a gift for Mikhailo, which only her mother knew about.
She says, find the strands to live. Find the strands. And be happy. For her.
I will. I'll do it for her.
Tetiana's spirit showed me a young woman kneeling and saying something about a child. And I also heard her say, don't take him away.
At that moment, I heard the voice of Tetiana's daughter. She said, look for the woman who didn't want the wedding. Tetiana, I see you're not feeling well. Let's go outside for some fresh air.
What's that?
Your daughter's spirit wants me to look in the mirror.
She probably wants to add something.
I see a groom and a bride in the mirror. 2 wax dolls. The male figure seems to be missing its head. I saw this image earlier today. What is it?
My son was married. There was a large wedding cake, and we bought those figurines. They were made of wax, the bride and the groom. We put them on the cake, but the groom's head broke off.
The woman says that her daughter-in-law's mother was responsible for decorating the cake, and she still doesn't understand what happened to the groom's figurine.
I mentioned to Rubina this morning that this resembles voodoo magic.
Look for the woman who didn't want the wedding. Could the spirit mean your daughter-in-law's mother?
Once, we were entertaining them at home. I was running around carrying plates, and she probably didn't expect me to come in. My daughter-in-law, Maria, was there, and her mother said, don't worry, darling. All of this will be yours, the house and everything in it.
So she told her daughter all your property would be hers, right?
Yes.
That's a twist. Well, if she killed your entire family, then indeed, all your property would be hers. Could it be a curse on your family then?
She told me, your Tetiana won't live past 20. And I said, why are you saying such things to me?
This is awful. Serhi's spirit warned us that his daughter was in danger. Perhaps it's because she lives with that woman. Where does she live?
It's not far from here. I'm afraid.
We'll talk to her first.
Only Oksana, the mother of Tetiana's daughter-in-law, and her granddaughter live in the house. After her husband's death, the girl's mother went to work abroad.
Hello.
Hello.
Tetiana asked us for help.
Where is she?
She's here.
Could I see her then?
Tetiana.
Why did you tell Tetiana her daughter would soon die and all her property would be your daughter's?
That's what you said at my home.
My God, what are you talking about?
I heard you say to your son-in-law, you should be grateful you're still alive.
And I said that?
You did.
I want to know why my son went to you as a healthy man, but then died out of a sudden.
What are you talking about?
Oksana, how about the wedding cake? With the groom's figurine, what happened to its head? Did you do something using magic?
No.
But I see that you did practice magic.
I've never done anything bad to anyone in my life.
You told me my Tetiana wouldn't live past 20.
How did you know that?
It was just intuition.
Give me your hand.
Sure.
Excuse me, but what you call intuition is commonly known as the black tongue. It's when you blurt something out without thinking, and it comes true.
Well, yes, I won't deny.
That woman didn't do anything bad to Tetiana's family, but she needs to be very careful about what she says. Despite your words, you loved Serhiy as your own son.
We loved him so much. Our souls were dedicated to him.
And you're very sorry such a tragedy occurred to his sister. But you can't come to terms with Tetiana.
It's impossible.
It's hard for her. She's devastated. Her children are gone. She has only her granddaughter left, but the girl lives in your house.
This girl has left 2 grandmothers and a mother. You need to find reconciliation.
Let go of old grudges. You should support Tetiana in her grief, and she needs to see the girl.
Sure, no problem.
Tetiana is happy. She can now embrace her granddaughter, Alina, again. Seeing her grandmother from the yard, the little girl runs up to her.
I love you so much, and I never forget you. The ring.
It's my ring. It simply slipped off my finger. This ring wasn't too big, and it never slipped off my finger before.
I lost my wedding ring this morning. Now your ring has fallen off.
Tetiana is here.
For some reason, her spirit keeps pointing us to rings.
I don't understand why the ring.
Your daughter is pointing at this ring.
It's my wedding ring.
The answer is in it. Someone didn't want your wedding. But who?
My husband's first wife.
Did she ask you to return him?
Yes, she did, but I didn't want him. I even told her to keep him. I didn't want him, and I didn't steal him from her.
Tetiana met her current husband sometime after her first marriage ended. Her son was 3 years old. Vasil gave her a lift in his car, and he fell head over heels in love at first sight. Back then, he was already married, but he said he was planning to divorce because his wife constantly caused him scandals.
He didn't have a normal life with her, but once he filed for a divorce, she suddenly told him she was pregnant.
Tetiana is sure that the woman simply tried to keep her husband, and it worked because he didn't leave his wife due to her pregnancy. However, Vasil still loved Tetiana and dreamed of being with her, even though she didn't want to hear about it.
He would come to visit me, but I would scold him. You have a wife, a family.
But the man left his family a year after his son was born anyway.
He said, I won't live, but I won't give up on you. We got married the next year, on January 12th.
Vasil raised Tetiana's son as his own. 3 years later, they had a daughter, but both their children eventually died.
Both deaths are related to weddings. The son died shortly after getting married, and the daughter died after the engagement. Could this be the revenge of the abandoned woman because Vasil married someone else?
She came here. She knelt before the icons. I said, Oksana, I'm not running after him. If you love him, take him.
Was she pregnant when she knelt?
Yes, but it wasn't obvious yet.
A pregnant woman who is willing to humble herself to win back her husband is capable of many things.
The name of the first wife of Tetiana's husband, just like that of the mother of her daughter-in-law, is also Oksana. When the clairvoyants arrived at her home, it was already dark.
No one's home.
Later, Through other people, Tetiana found out that the woman had gone abroad a few days ago.
Let's go outside.
Tetiana found Oksana's photo on social media. We won't show it due to ethical considerations.
Let me have a look. Here you are. Was there any magic from Oksana? Were there any magical actions directed at Tetiana or her children? There was no magic.
I can hear her shout. She's saying terrible things to you.
Yes, it happened. May you be cursed, and may your children die. She said a lot of things like that.
She shouted, if you marry, your life won't be worth living.
Yes, she did.
I sense that this outcry of pain from the offended woman turned into a curse, and it was what caused the deaths of your children. Due to the unique energy of the pregnant woman, her curse holds immense power. The curse affected all the weddings in your family. That's why your son's marriage and your daughter's engagement became fatal for them.
It was a cry from the soul, an emotional outburst of tears and pain.
She didn't really wish for everything to turn out this way.
But once the words were pronounced, the mechanism was set in motion.
We need to neutralize the curse so it doesn't threaten your granddaughter. We need to perform a ritual. For that, I'll need water from a natural source.
Please give me your wedding ring. Since Tetiana's wedding triggered the curse, we needed to neutralize it through the ring.
It's going to be your family talisman. Take it, Tetiana. Eventually, you'll pass this ring on to your granddaughter. This girl is the continuation of your lineage. Give her all the love you didn't have time to give your children, and your home will be filled with laughter and joy again.
It's such a relief. Life seemed meaningless before, but now there's hope. Thank you so much. At least I'll be able to go on living now.
An incredibly tragic story. Who would have thought that the tears and curses of the pregnant woman could lead to such consequences?